Okay.
Roll this. Hello, everybody. I guess it's another week of Coral Academy from Quantum. Today we're here with Mr. William Moyer here. I do not like this. There we go. That's the better setup. Today we're going to talk about feeding your corals, feeding like nature intended, using the 3-layer coral diet. But first, always, we're going to introduce Mr. Moyer here. I've known this guy for about the last 5 years. He's been using our products for quite a long time. He's a freshwater and a saltwater ambassador in the industry. A lot of you guys may see him in the Carolinas at multiple different trade shows, being a volunteer, helping and supporting those trade shows. So, Mr. Moyer, please tell us a little bit about yourself, kind of a little background of you in the industry, what your hobbies are. I see a cat back there and a lot of frogs, so got to talk about that as well. Where are you at? You're muted.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
There we go.
I've been in the freshwater side for 10 or so years. We switched over to salt. That was my end game in the first place, is, to go over to salt. And I've always liked, having the ecosystem, I guess. So, having a slice of Fiji in my living room is kind of cool. So that was really the end goal. And yeah, now currently I have 16 or 18 different types of dart frogs. So kind of doing the saltwater and dart frogs.
How many?
Maybe 18.
That's why your wife's back there working while you're slouching.
Yeah,
she's feeding the froggies.
She's doing the water changes and all that stuff. Yep. That's her thing, is she changes the waters. And so yeah. But
Gotcha.
it's all fun. It's all, man, I love it. If I love animals and figuring out, I always been
we have the geckos.
challenge myself
Okay.
of learning and adapting to new things, and my frogs have taken off. So
That's
yeah.
awesome. I know you said you had loads and loads of babies when we were talking pre-show.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know if I could do frogs because we got a pond out back, and all I hear all the time is frogs. Yeah, I don't know if I can do frogs.
Yeah. They're not as loud or as obnoxious as one would think. It's some of the types are pretty loud, but most of them are very
The
quiet.
toads out back in Florida around
Yeah,
night are freaking annoying as all get out. I don't know
Yeah.
if there's anything better.
Toads are typically a little louder and a little more vocal.
Gotcha. So what type? I mean, are they tree frogs? Are they dart frogs? What are you doing?
I've got a tree frog. I've got White's tree frogs. I've got those are in this tank here. I've got mostly dart frogs.
Mostly dart frogs.
Yeah,
Do you
mostly
play
dart
with them?
frogs.
Are they all poisonous?
No, they're only poisonous in the wild. They lose their toxicity in captivity because they're not eating the bullet ants, the termites, and things like that give them the poison. So
Interesting.
Yep.
Did not know that. I did not.
Yep.
My daughter's always wanted to know. I'm like, nah, I'm not keeping one. But
No, yeah, they're absolutely. I mean, you don't want to handle them too much. You want gloves on because of their skin. They absorb, whatever you have on your hands, they absorb through their skin. So, but yeah, they're not toxic at all. in captivity.
Gotcha. That's interesting. I might have to look into him or talk to you more offline about
Yeah,
her one because she's always wanted one of the yellow ones.
yeah,
So,
yeah,
okay. So saltwater. I know you said it was your
yeah.
in game. How's it going? Are you having any issues? Where are you at?
No, the tank's been set up. It's a 180 glass cages, 180. It's
Ah,
been
I love
set
those.
up now. I love it. I love it. I can't give him enough credit. Joe's awesome.
Yep.
Um, it's been set up now for about a little over a year. No issues really. Everything seems happy right now. Went through the first stages of dinos and stuff when I used all the live rock from 3 tanks and consolidated into one. So dinos kicked up for a bit there, but luckily I have a scope and everything, checked everything out, got it taken care of pretty quickly. Everything seems to be doing is pretty happy. I had some green hair, a little bit of green hair on one side, but
Not uncommon.
yeah, right, right, yeah. All those nutrients releasing and everything from lava rock being moved around and everything. But for the most part, it's cleared up now.
So
Little
you got it all taken care of. Things looking
flucanazole.
good. Everything's happy.
Yeah, yep.
So let's jump into tonight. How do you feed your corals? I mean, what do you do? What's your goals? How do you do it? Let's get into the major topic.
Me, I feed probably once a day. I
Okay.
feed very small amounts. I don't do a large amount. I do maybe 2 to 3 meals in the 180 every day. Of course, bioenhance, I do it once to twice a week. But I do a very, very small feeding. I don't turn off the pumps or anything. I just kind of dump 1 to 2, 3 mils in. I don't really measure it all that much. Scoop some water out of the tank and kind of just let it roll.
Okay. Do you feed Fido or anything like that?
I do not. I stopped Fido. I was doing that for a while there. Um, it's Florida Reef Labs. I was
Okay.
doing their stuff for a while. I don't know. Now, this is not facts, but I feel like that's when I started getting a little bit of issues with dinos.
Okay.
Um, I
Definitely
was,
could be. Definitely
yeah,
could be. We'll talk about that in a second.
yep, yep. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna stop this for a little bit. I stopped the copepods too. So, but everything seems to be good now.
Okay. Do you feed corals or anything like that? Like, do you target feed or anything?
Every once in a while, I don't do it often. I should, but I do not. When I do
Okay.
that, my I know it's a good problem to have, but my bubble tips seem to duplicate way more.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, all right, we got to stop this. I take usually 10, 15, 20 to Tristan. So
Oh,
um,
jeez. So that's
yeah,
where I get those bubble tips from. When I get them from him, it's probably you.
probably.
Let's cut out the middleman. Sorry,
It,
Tristan. I know you're on here.
I can't get rid of them fast enough, man. It's like I look, I'll wake up in the morning. I'm like, oh, there's 3 more. Cool.
Yeah, my
So,
black widows were doing that in my 180. I had to cut them out when they started stretching over rocks. I had to rip them out.
yep, yep.
Kind of
That's what
annoying
I'm.
me because I had a bright yellow millie. It was I
Yeah,
called it the Christmas tree millie, but he was bright yellow, green, and red. And I
yeah,
came in one morning and there was a black widow sitting right on top of him in the middle. I was
yep,
like, "You so."
yeah. I've lost so many zoas. They love to get right in the middle of zoas and
Yep.
go to town. So
Okay, so it sounds like you're
yeah,
doing 2 of the 3 layers that Quantum recommends that we really recommend for feeding your corals.
yeah.
You definitely have the dissolved nutrition by feeding the bioenhance. This
Hmm.
is going to be like your amino acids, your fatty acids, your carbs, your vitamins with a mix of your trace elements.
Yep.
What the dissolved nutrition layer does is it actually drives the color production of all your corals, the tissue repair. It also makes their immune system really respond and be able to adapt into any type of stress or issues that you're going to have. Um, in our little bitty tanks glasses that we have, like yours is quite large, or a lot of people's is a little bit smaller. We don't have the constant dissolved nutrition coming across. It's never like in the ocean. You got natural tides and things like that. We don't have that. This is
Yeah.
why in today's a lot of people are telling you that we need to dose those vitamins. We need to dose those clean and good and bioavailable amino acids for your corals. They always need that energy. They need that enzyme activation to be able to photosynthesize the aminos and the proteins that they're getting from the chlorophyll A and chlorophyll B from the lighting. So that's
So
the solvent
can
really comes into
can
play. Go ahead.
can we break that down a little bit? Because
Go for it.
I've went through a few different products. I won't name any names, but I've went through a few different ones, and not a shout out, to Quantum or anything, but yes, it is. It seems to be cleaner. I don't notice as many issues with BioEnhance versus some of the others. Is there a difference? What is the difference?
So ours is definitely a lot different than all the other ones out there. Ours is going to include all of the amino acids, so you're not just running one primary amino acid. There's a lot of
Okay.
other people on this live right now that are using ours and actually sent it off to test, and they can see that you're truly getting multiple forms of amino acids instead of just one. We also take and we put a liquid protein in ours that helps keep all those amino acids stable inside of that bottle. There is no fillers, no protein, or not proteins, protein's the wrong word. No fillers or binders inside of that bottle, so there's nothing breaking down in there while it's sitting underneath your tank. We do not require any refrigeration on our product. We actually added a UV inhibitor to it, which makes it where it is light sensitive. So that's what keeps it stable inside of that bottle and makes it a little bit different than everybody else's in the industry.
Okay.
So does that answer your question?
Yeah, I think it does. Yeah.
Okay. Also, with this dissolved nutrition being the first layer of fuel and food for your corals, we recommend it 24/7 as much as possible. That's not overdosing your tank. We've all seen, like you saw, dinos or the brown film that builds up on your glass really quick. 90% of the time, that is from too much amino acids or too much proteins inside of your tank. That's those falling out, becoming the dino, or not dinos, the diatoms that we all see
Diatoms.
flip off with a little finger. You can draw your name in the a window card. So
Yeah.
same kind of principle there. So make sure you dose only what your tank needs. And if you're using the bioenhancer, it's a very little bit amount.
Right.
For a fully stocked tank, it's 1 milliliter per 50 gallons. So it
Yeah.
is a very minuscule amount to dose. Now, the one layer you did say you got out of, which I did want to jump back to, is layer 2. This is your microparticulates in your water. This is what your corals are going to feed off of all day long. This is where a lot of people in the industry think they can just stay at, and this is with fish poop, fish waste, fish food, things like that. This layer is supposed to be like marine snow, microplanktons, tiny planktons, the pure phyto, any type of phyto stuff that we're dumping in our tanks. This is the microparticulate part that's there for the microfauna in your tank. These guys drift past the corals, entice the corals, make them want to come out and eat. It increases their tentacle extension. It causes them to make those mucus nets that we see all the time when they make those nets. We all know it from vermin snails. You see that net comes out, and that's catching all the food. This is very important for your SQF corals. It really wakes up their enzymes and gets them out to come out to grab those big particulate fluids. This area is where a lot of people mess up. Like you said earlier, you think that's where your phosphates or your nitrates are coming from. There's a lot of companies out here that say they're selling good live phyto. Yes, it might have been live at one time, but it's not going to be a good phyto. You need to test your phyto source that you're getting and make sure it is a true live marine phyto. Because if it's not, it's just going to rot in your tank.
It's just going to break down.
Rotting in your bottle that you're just dumping pure phosphates in.
Right.
So that's where a lot of people mess up. The standard is it's good for a week in the fridge as long as you shake it every day and make sure it never settles on top of each other and outweighs each other. But in all honesty, I give it 3 days in the fridge. Between 2 to 3 days, that's when you're going to start running into issues. Me personally, if I buy a thing of phyto to put in my tank, live phyto, I'll split it over 3 days.
Okay.
The entire dose over 3 days. That way I'm not overdosing or having any of that pure phosphate going into my tank.
Recommendations on types, brands, any?
I won't give any recommendations on brands just because I'm trying to stay as brand neutral for all this type of educational purposes. I would recommend testing the phyto if you have a microscope, looking under it and making sure that it is live. If you're going to use I don't want to say not live, if you're going to use a bottled, we'll use bottled. you're going to use a bottle type of Phyto, make sure it is a clean Phyto. Make sure it's a human grade or marine grade Phyto that is clean and structured correctly. That way, it is not just pure phosphates in the bottle. There is a difference between live Phyto and dead Phyto. I'm going to just use the word dead Phyto here. Big difference. Live Phyto is going to do those enticings. They're going to make that enzymes and the coral polyps want to come out. Dead Phyto is more of a direct food. The point of that is to give the bacillocylin and the energy that the corals need to do photosynthesis. And it helps entice them to come out and eat those larger particles. The other benefit of live Phyto is micropods, amphipods, amphibians, copepods, all those different types of pods, and the microfauna in your tank will go completely berserk over live Phyto. So if you're trying to grow that population, that's where I'd recommend live Phyto.
Gotcha.
Any questions on that? Anybody on the chat got any questions? Because I see quite a few people. There's a lot on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube and Facebook. We're on all of those right now. It's the first time I got them all to work, actually. That was the way I did the 1 minute thing at the beginning. I was making sure they were all clicking in and doing right. All right, so the third layer. This is my favorite layer. This is everybody's favorite layer, I think. This is the, oh, cool, my corals are eating and doing what they're supposed to. Layer 3, that's the big particles, the larger particles. This is the occasional feast that you need to give your corals. This is what we recommend to do 2 to 3 times a week once your corals are used to your food. Kind of like you and I, Will. When I first talked to you, I asked you, I said, do you eat chicken or do you eat a steak? I eat chicken all the time. That's your layer 2 and your layer 1. Your steak, you only eat it once a week, once a month, because it's a huge nutritional food. The same thing with your layer 3. This is where your zooplankton, your copepods, your rotifers, your different types of shrimps, your big marine proteins come into play that your corals need to consume. This is mainly for your LPS corals, your anemones, and all of your non-photosynthetic corals. All of your non-photosynthetic corals need to be fed 2 to 3 times a week, or they will die. I mean, there's no other option. But this is what actually gives them their full energy. It provides a building material for their skeletons, for the mucus. Also recovers any like stress or any damages or anything like that that happened during fracking. This is where you can easily overfeed your tank and cause nutrient issues. So this is where you need to really make sure that you're using a clean food and only feeding what they can consume in just a few minutes during the normal feeding cycle. Questions? I feel like I keep talking and I should shut up a second.
Or I know I've heard some, I've read so much about copepods and the different variations, and if you buy a bottle, the bigger ones will eat the smaller ones, and I've heard so many stories out there. It's kind of one of those things again where, is that true? Is there a better type to use?
I like a big biodiversity. So I do buy the copepods, the tiggerpods, the amphipods.
Yep.
I have bought all 3 of them, and I do recommend putting all 3 of them in your tank, especially if you start with a sterile tank. So if you start with 100% base rock, then I would definitely recommend them. It gives you more microfauna and gives you more biodiversity.
Okay.
So, yeah, I had a feeling there was a lot of background noise. I have my 3D printer running next to me. It's been printing nonstop for 2 days, so sorry. Or is it the elf on TV? This is weird. TikTok and Instagram does not come through on here, so we can't see the messages. So I've got both of them open on another screen. That's where I'm seeing it. Oh well. So all 3 layers matter mainly because, oh crap, I need to use my exact wording. A coral fed only large particles is like a person only eating steak. It's like I wrote this. Yeah, so all 3 layers matter because, like we said earlier, the first layer is the dissolved nutrition. That's what actually gets them the energy. The microparticulates is what entices them to come out looking for food. People talking. Oh, I think they hear your TV in the background.
Mine?
Yes.
All right, let me see.
Is that better? Acro? I just got a lot of thumbs up.
My apologies. I'm gonna go turn it off.
I thought it was mine, honestly, because the elf is going on over there.
Better?
I didn't hear it earlier. Yeah, much better. I don't hear it at all now. All right, so layer 1, that's the dissolved nutrition. That's what gets them hungry, makes them want to come out. It's also good for the tissue repair, and it helps drive the colors for all your corals. Layer 2, that's the microparticulates. This is what entices your corals to come out and eat. This is what grabs their attention. It's like, ooh, that is a steak. Let me go grab it. And then layer 3 is your actual occasional feast. That's like you and I eating Thanksgiving, a birthday meal every month, or something like that. So they're all huge. They're all very important. They're definitely more important to do all 3 steps a little bit versus just doing more of one step. And also making sure that you follow those steps completely will help maintain very strong corals, very healthy corals, will help fight off any types of bacterial diseases or any type of parasites that come in. Having healthy corals and healthy metabolic corals will prevent a lot of issues from happening, especially when you're frag corals and selling off to your friends and whatnot.
So if I'm doing none of these, what's the best way to get started? Do I go to, do I start very, very slowly and ramp it up over time, or do I just...
Absolutely. I would definitely recommend starting slow. I would start off with definitely start small and steady. I didn't even realize on this part. You must see it on the screen. I'm just scrolling randomly. Yeah, start small and steady. I would definitely start with like the amino acid blends. Start with the BioEnhanced, the Red Sea AV Plus, Brightwell's Amino Ease, any of the type of amino acids that are out there. Definitely start with one of them. Start it slow. It might say 1 milliliter for a 50-gallon fully stocked tank. Your tank is not fully stocked, I promise you. Start it off as it's a lightly stocked tank. Start that dose and then slowly work into it. Because as you're feeding these corals, even if it is just layer 1, which is dissolved nutrition, they're going to crap. Take a daily vitamin, you still poop. So your corals are still going to waste. They're still going to excrete that waste. And as they excrete that waste, that's going to increase ammonia, which is going to increase nitrite, which is going to increase your nitrate levels while that cycling process is happening, while that waste and that excrement's being broken down. So definitely make sure to start slow and make sure your tank can handle it. After you get those amino acids in, then I would definitely recommend starting to do small direct feedings or broadcast feedings with a particular food, whether it be phytoplankton or a type of coral food that's got a phytoplankton blend in it. Just because phytoplankton is one of the best energies out there, or the best carbs out there to entice coral feed. So definitely recommend that. Start with a broadcast feeding, do that for the first couple weeks, and then move into a target feeding. I know a lot of people on here that I've talked to that's listening to us right now do target feeding when friends come over. And that's honestly plenty. If you broadcast feed the rest, your corals are going to get enough of that food. Do the target feeding to show off. Ooh, look at my father.
It's
good. Watch this Duncan eat and go to town. I mean, it's awesome. So do it when your friends come by. Show off, man. Get a good food that's clean so you can do that. And you don't have to worry about doing a water change tomorrow. Also, building this layer helps prevent those swings in nutrients that everybody sees. If you don't have a balanced ecosystem, it can't break down correctly. So you're going to have issues. That's everything down there. That's the rest of that. Sorry, I was just quickly screening it to make sure the screen can go. Cool. So yeah, any more questions on that thing? On the blog or feeding like nature intended? Did you lose
No.
it? Oh,
Nope.
Okay.
Nope. I think that's.
All right,
I think I'm good.
Have any questions? Anybody on the live have any questions about what we just covered? That actually was pretty much on topic the entire time. I like it. The last two were not, but this one was pretty well on target. So anybody on TikTok got any questions? Instagram, Facebook, YouTube? We're opening it up to any questions about anything right now. So stay on for about another 5-10 minutes. All right, Will. So lights. We were talking about lights.
Yeah, lights. Yep.
Before people came on, let me change cameras. Switch camera. Boom. Boom. So yeah, like I said earlier, I switched over to the Orphic, or not the Orphic, the Delua. Oh, oh my jeez. The Delua X4s. Holy moly. I swapped over to the Delua X4s. I ended up swapping the back lenses. So all four of the back ones here, they're still the 90-degree lens. The front ones are the 120s. The reason I did that was because I was getting too even of a spread. Meaning, when I had them all on the hundreds, the entire sand bed was at 250, and the top of the rocks were at 250. So I was like, there's not enough even spread for me to separate the tank.
To separate it, yeah.
And I truly want this to be a mixed tank, not a just SPS tank.
Yeah.
So, whoa, live ended. I either just got kicked on TikTok again or something happened. It's okay. They kicked me last time, so who knows what happened. Yeah, so now I'm getting 250 in the back, and I'm about 120 down here on the sand bed. So it seems to be a little bit more even there.
Yeah.
So, what were you saying about your radions?
I've had a few issues. I've had a power supply go out on one of my pros. I seem to get various random little short circuit errors every once in a while. I haven't really gotten any concrete evidence, one thing or the other. They're saying send the light in, and I don't notice any other errors or anything else. But they're, just kind of one of those things when you have. I've got 3 pros and 2 in the middle, non-pros in the middle, blues. Just yep.
I cannot tell which way my camera is going.
I see some.
This is terrible. Where's my camera? This thing is mirrored. That's why it's got me.
I see some.
There we
I see
go.
it right there.
Zoom in. Come on. Right there.
I see it right there. Right.
There it goes. So yeah, there's 2 XR30s in the trash that are in the trash can right here. This XR15 is going in the trash.
Yeah.
That I can't fault them for this issue, but what I can say, and if they are listening to this stream, and I hope you are, because I mean you guys make a great light, honestly. Probably one of the better ones out in the industry with the Spectrum. I like them, but put a freaking seal around the lens to protect the freaking electronics.
Yeah.
That's all you have to do. It's an 80-cent seal.
Yeah.
You sell them for $1,000.
Yeah.
Because like all of mine, I mean, they say you can put them in a canopy, and I've got one of the Marine Lane canopies on my 180.
Yeah.
They're mounted to the top. I've got their rail.
Yep.
And it's screwed right through the rail to the top of the canopy. 3 XR30s.
Yeah, I've got 3 XR30s. One of them's giving me every once in a while I have to reset it, and everything seems fine until it says short circuit again. And he's like, "Well, try another power supply. Power supply is $120." I'm like, that's a lot to spend on what if.
Yeah, and it's not a power supply, but it's a short circuit.
Right. That's yeah.
90% of the time, it's that right there.
Yeah.
And they try to, I won't say any more about that. Yeah, I like their lights. I would definitely run more of their lights. I personally don't think the price is bad for their lights because they are really good lights. I did notice a big difference once I went from another brand to them, and that was the only thing that changed. But I am intrigued to see how these guys do on this.
Yeah.
I did have them over my 120, and Anthony from Duluth did tell me I needed to have 3 of them and probably a couple of vitamin bars, or not vitamin bars, the Duluth bars. over top of that 120.
Yeah.
That 2 of these would not be enough, but 2 of these is $7.99, and 2 Radion XR30s is $11.99. Yeah, that's $500 roughly, but if I could get 2 and not have to buy a third and
And three.
four other
Yeah.
more,
Right.
it kind of pans
Hands
out
out.
to just do the 2 30s. But I am intrigued to see how they
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
Color wise, I like it. Color wise, I like them better. I do like the color a lot better. But I don't know.
Yeah. I haven't tried any of the Gen 6s yet. I was tempted to upgrade the LED boards to Gen 6, but we'll see.
I've talked to too many farms that don't like the Gen 6.
That's what I've heard too.
What's up, Richard? What's up, Mr. Aficionado? Yeah, I've heard some. Yeah, not something I'm gonna do. I now have one XR30 that's okay because I had to open it up and run my own wire inside to fix the blemish that was in it. That's the only Radeon I have left. So I am looking at the new Orific Naturas though. I am curious in those because I've heard some really good reviews on those. No Coral Farm that just ordered 40 of them for his new Coral Farm. So kind of interested in seeing how those look. I think I'm debating on putting one over this tank or putting 2 of them over my 120 to see. That way I can kind of do both, and then I have the Radions on the 180 at the shop.
And they're definitely a little bit cheaper, aren't they?
They're $8.99.
Are they?
But supposedly, according to the par value and the wattage value, it's better than Radion's. Their app is a lot better than Radion now. I personally like their app a lot better. And then supposedly it's equivalent to an XR30 and an XR15 put together. So you can cover a 32-inch tank by 24-inch versus just a 24 by 24. Granted, I haven't tried it, so I don't know yet. I've got one on order. It should be here in a couple weeks. So
that'd be interesting.
Probably put one on the 120 right in the middle,
right?
Just to see what I get at the heights, and then go from there. But this tank here, this 52, it's 32 by 20 by 20. So if I put one of those over this tank, and if I can do it full SPS, that would really tell the whole tale.
Yep.
And then I could do, because of how small of a footprint it would be, I could easily put 2 24-inch bars in here if I need to add extra.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Still up in the air on what I'm going to do there. But the tank's looking good. It just needs a little bit more work.
Yeah.
So you got any questions or anything? If not, we'll call it a night. And we're not going to be here next week, guys. And I'm not going to be here the week after. I'm not going to come on live Christmas Eve. I love you guys and all, but family means more. Christmas Eve and New Year's, we won't be here. I still will do the blogs, so we'll still have the blog content coming out. We'll still have the weekly tips coming out about coral feeding and Coral Academy nutrition. So, yeah.
Awesome.
Well, thanks for coming, man. It's weird saying my own name, but I love it. Thanks for coming. Look forward to dealing more with you guys. So Will's going to be a part of us. He's kind of jumping on and helping us with a little bit of the marketing stuff and with some admin stuff in the background. So really appreciate your time, Will, and look forward to talking to you soon, bro.